Hello, everybody. Welcome today to our How Many Works Wealth Building Cash Flow Edition. I'm Chandra Lake. I'm your host today, and I am so excited to be online with these wonderful souls. I can't wait to introduce them. I just want to set up one more thing as we get ready to get started. We are live on Facebook. This is a first for us to be doing this, so please bear with us if you see any flaws or angst or anything as we get started. But tonight, I want you to tune in, drop everything you're doing, bring your minds in, because you're going to hear some information tonight that is going to be powerful. And I believe that your life's going to be changed if you take the information and allow it to transform your thinking and transform how you've been taught. And so tonight, I'm going to start it off with just a quick overview of my portion, which is the real estate portion and cash flow. Give me 1 second. I just want to tag a couple people in this post. Our wonderful ladies that are here tonight. I cannot wait to introduce them. I just want to make sure they can put this on their live as well. All right. And I think we are good. All right. And again, I'm Chandra Lake. I am a realtor. I'm a mortgage loan officer, and I've had the pleasure and privilege to partner with these ladies who have got me excited about the financial industry, and they're going to share some things with you tonight. But I'm going to hold my introduction because I want to say wonderful things about them because they have inspired me. I originally said didn't want anything to do with this industry. I get tagged all the time in my inboxes asking me if I have any room for anything additional on my plate, and I'm always no. But let me tell you, they inspired me to just come all in and complete the pieces of the puzzle. So let me share what I want to do, and then won't take long, but I want you to jot down the things that I'm going to share with you. And then I want you to drop every single thing you're doing. Keep your pens and paper, and I want you to stay to the end because we have a special gift for you as well. But you're going to learn so much from these young ladies. Okay, give me a second. I'm going to share my screen. And I hope everyone's having a wonderful night tonight. Again, I'm Chandra Lake. I am your host tonight, realtor and a mortgage loan officer. And I wrote the date today in red because I want you to remember this date. If you are tuning in tonight, I want you to remember this date because you're going to have some information that's going to help you and the generations that are coming after you. And even if you have children, your parents, one of the ladies on this live, she's in this business with her parent. And I find that so amazing. So again, I'm gonna hold my applause for them until after I share this quick information with you. So my portion is going to be talking about 5 ways to cash flow with regards to home ownership. Okay, you can create cash flow through your home. Typically, it involves finding ways to help generate income for your property. Okay, so it's not just a place to stay, but it can have additional purpose. And that purpose could be to bring cash into your home. So just 5 ways I want to share with you. The first one, obviously, and this is probably not the most favorable way, but it's gained popularity probably within the last 5 years. And that is renting out a portion of your home. Okay, you can consider renting out a spare bedroom if that's your thing, or a portion of your home to a tenant. This is a way where you can help to kind of subsidize what you're putting out in expenses for your utilities. If you have a mortgage, it's a way to help you pay down your mortgage as well. A lot of people are also using Airbnb or Vrbo to rent out rooms in their homes. Maybe you're going for the weekend. You can put your some space in your home up on Airbnb. And I've seen homes renting out or space renting out for as much as $200 a night. And that's a way, that's income that you can bring in to help cover your expenses, to help cover things that you typically may fall short on. Number 2, accessory dwelling unit. We've all seen these, right? These could be things like, how they say, little home space for the lady of the house out in the backyard. This could be an additional guest house. It could be a basement apartment. I think maybe last summer, I was able to host an open house at this property in a city by the name of Birmingham. And their basement, it was $1 million property. Their basement was a full apartment. They had a kitchen, they had a shower, they had 2 bedrooms, they had a huge open space. You don't think that type of space can be used to bring in additional income? It can. Accessory dwelling units have gained popularity. And also, and let me just say this, I am a mortgage loan officer. I am pro home ownership, not necessarily pro mortgage. So I try to bring that distinction because I don't want people to think I am all about promoting a mortgage, but I am promoting home ownership. And if you are able to use your home to bring in additional funds, that would be a blessing to you. So people are using separate living spaces that are on their property for additional income. Lenders have accepted this as well. So they're allowing people to use accessory dwelling units and actually use the rent that they would bring in from that unit as a portion of their income. So that's a way, again, you can bring cash flow into your home through home ownership. Number 3, house hacking. Now, this has been around for a while. And a lot of times when people talk about house hacking, they're talking about multifamily properties, right? Usually multifamily properties, 2 to 4 unit properties. You can use these properties and live in one of the units and use the other properties to rent out, and they cover the entire mortgage that you have. And one of the benefits of doing it this way is that if you were to try to buy an investment property on your own without living there, the cost of the down payment could be as high as 30%. But if you are using it as a primary residence, meaning you're living in one of the units and you're renting the other units out, your down payment could be as low as 3.5%. Because FHA allows for multifamily properties to be used as additional income, and they also will give you kind of a leeway when it comes to your down payment. So that's another way you can bring in income into your home. Number 4, renting storage space. I haven't heard of this as much, but this is a way as well. We've seen rental units all over your city. If you're in Michigan, it's probably one within maybe 2 or 3 within a mile radius. They're very popular because people, let's say Americans, we have so much stuff. So a lot of times we don't have enough space to keep our belongings. And sometimes even if we're downsizing, we might need a storage unit. And so you can use a portion of your property to store other people's items, right? So I know it's kind of novel, it's unique, but it's another way where you can bring in additional income into your home. And number 5 is my absolute favorite. Okay, and you might even be able to tap into this if you stay to the end and hear the benefit of what our guests are going to bring to you today. And that is using your property or your home and for your home-based business. There are amazing tax benefits to using your home as a home-based business. You can operate your home. It could be a daycare, it could be a home office. You could do freelancing, consulting services. And while you're earning income, you'll be able to enjoy tax benefits. And I'm not a tax professional. You have to consult with your tax professional, but I can attest to that because just being able to work from home, I've been able to see the benefit on my taxes. A lot of times people that are excited about their taxes, they're mostly excited because they don't have to pay any. Right. So it's such a benefit if you are using your home or a portion of your home, operating in your home for your home-based business. So those are 5 ways that you can cash flow and bring income into your home. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any additional questions, we'll have opportunity for you to put in your information and we can talk further about this. And actually, we can also talk about how you can finance bringing cash flow into your home. So that relieves my portion. And so now for the most exciting part, for me, I've got my pen and my paper ready because I still take notes. I am going to introduce to you these next speakers tonight. And so I'll start with Decota Young. Decota Young is the one who actually introduced me to the financial professional world. She's a marketing director within our firm, and she's been in the firm now for 4 years. She comes with a background in corporate America and administrative management, which is my baby. I love administration. And she wasn't satisfied working her job. And so she wanted to do more and have more time with financial freedom. And when she introduced me to this platform or to this How Money Works experience, I have to say I was reluctant, but she was so sincere and she made me want to say, well, let me see what are you offering? And I took that appointment and I was like, you guys are passionate about educating people, and this is like a piece of the puzzle that I was missing. And so I'm going to introduce Decota Young to the platform. And do you want me to introduce Rose as well right now?
Appreciate it. You can stop sharing your screen. Oh. Uh-oh, and it got muted. So, alrighty. Thank you so much, Chandra. That was awesome. Definitely, I learned a lot. It's something I've always been interested in. Investing in property and, real estate and what is house hacking? That was my first time kind of hearing that, that terminology. So that was awesome. I definitely hope, there are a lot of people tuning in and, got some great value out of that. And definitely, just excited for you just partnering with us and us, just coming together to get more information out to, the masses. Myself and Miss Rose Macias today, Rose is actually, my more than just a business partner, but a mentor and a friend. We're gonna kind of be tag teaming, so it's going to be fun. And out there in the virtual world, this definitely is our first time doing this, but it's fun. And we're all about fun. So we're going to be talking, in addition to real estate, we're really going to be talking about like how to just make your money work for you. I can actually introduce Rose just so you have an idea. So Miss Rose Macias, one of my just honestly best friends, she became sisters in business, sisters in life. She's actually been in the financial industry for over 8 years, but just a world-class woman, honestly. She's helped have helped open up multiple offices all over the US. She's someone I love to brag about it because she's being asked to speak on so many stages all across the US as well. She's just that much of a powerhouse, of a woman, and just a big heart to want to give back and help. And she's someone who's been featured in multiple, magazines in the financial industry as one of the top women in the industry, and even asked to, give her opinion you know, books and, you know, things like that of education. And, you know, one of our books we launched is our How Many Works Women's edition. And she was asked to, you know, write about it, and, you know, what did she think about it? And you're going to hear a little bit about like what, you know, some of the people who've read the book and some of their opinions and stuff today. So I just, you know, appreciate Rose for, you know,
Yeah,
she's
thanks.
the one who's taught me and mentored
Aw.
me.
Well, Dakota, I mean, I
Yeah.
think you very well took action and taught yourself. The book is fifth grade reading level and pictures, and I think it can help anybody get to their first big anything like home, rental property, you know, investment, uh, your first retirement plan, your first benefit plan. You know, what does any of this stuff even mean? Where do I start? You know, what's the thing I should do first? So, you know, Dakota, for one, I want to thank you. And then of course, Miss Lake, thank you for inviting us to your live here. What's up? Facebook, right? This is cool. You know what they say
Yes.
about live television, right? So for all of you tuning in, stay on. You might see something crazy, right, happening live. But truly, we hope you gain some value. We hope we can share some information that we know can get to a lot of families if it's up to us. We know financial literacy should be taught in school, and it's not quite there yet. It's not in our churches, it's not in our workforces, right? And it's definitely not on our kitchen tables. So we're hoping to blow up your Facebooks and it be all over Facebook about these things that we wish we were taught in school. So if you're listening right now and you feel like there's somebody that needs to have a kickstart about how money works, or is just curious about the book and wants to learn more, forward it to them right now. We're going to be here for a moment talking about these concepts and how you can apply that to cash flow building and growing wealth for yourself in all different aspects. So thank you so much for our mortgage professional jumping on and giving us some feedback and so many different tools to take with us. So Dakota, let's get started on some how money works. Oh man, it's definitely been exciting journey to see how many people are getting into a world of learning money, but in so many different ways. That's for sure. So let's get started.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rose. So you guys, this is just, I love this book. It's a conversation starter, but this How Money Works piece, and you see this big green sucker here and on the front saying, stop being a sucker. It's a subliminal, you know, message. It's there for a reason, for sure. But, you know, our goal is to educate individuals on how money works and how to make it work for you and not to be a sucker.
Yes, and this book, you know, was developed in a way where we're disrupting the financial industry. There are concepts that we feel should have been taught to us a lot earlier. You might hear some things today and go, you know, why wasn't this taught earlier? Why weren't we given these tools and principles earlier to have a shot maybe that could have lifted us off to the right start in life? How many of you have went to school and been in a math class and ever wondered when we were going to ever use some of the things that were even given to us, right? So take some notes, go get that notepad, run to the kitchen, do what you need to do. This is that moment.
Yes, absolutely. And as I mentioned earlier, we have some awesome individuals, Rose being one, that have actually endorsed our book. We, you know, I'm sure many of you know who Bob Proctor is, right? A speaker, author, coach, and mentor. This book shows how anyone can become financially independent, sophisticated enough for adults, yet simple enough for teens. How money works belong in every home, in every school as a starting point for financial literacy. And I'm sure if you guys are football fans out there, you've heard of a gentleman by the name of Marshall Falk. He's an NFL player. He also wrote, if you want to win, you have to know your opponents and how the game is played. How Money Works is the financial halftime pep talk you need to hear right now to change your financial scoreboard and the outcome of your life. So pretty awesome. some backing there that we have.
Yeah, you got two different worlds, right? You got Bob Proctor, who's like the mentor of all mentors, and then you have Marshall Falk, who's the mentor in the athletic entrepreneurship arena as well. So it's two different worlds colliding and both saying, "Hey, we want to learn how money works," right? Entrepreneurs and football players, right? And I know that these characters in the book represent a lot of different people too. Clark is the Uber driver. We have Dana, the hospital director, Zoe, the student. We have George, the military professional, May, the teacher, Hector, the restaurant owner, Sarah, the real estate agent. I mean, they represent all different backgrounds, all different workplaces, all different ages, right? And I know Dakota mentioned it earlier. We have an extension to the original book. We now have a Spanish version, and we have a women's version that has even more characters, and all of those characters talk about different times in women's lives, and so it's pretty powerful, the crew that we have here. And these cartoons are teachers in themselves.
Absolutely. So we definitely want people to stop being suckers and start being students, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm like, I remember when I first saw it, I was like, I'm not a sucker, I'm a saver, right? And I was a saver, all right, but I was not an investor, I'll tell you that much. I mean, look at where we're at today. Since COVID, America, our country, is now a 63% paycheck to paycheck country. You know, we can talk about, you know, making sources of income, and there's so many ways to do it, but how can we even get started sometimes in something like real estate if I'm paycheck to paycheck? Rose, what do I do? Where do I go? What's the next step? What's my journey in this department?
Absolutely. And then, I mean, why isn't money being taught in schools? You know, they're teaching our students, our children, all about sex education, and it's a requirement, ladies and gentlemen. It says that students spend as many as 16 years gaining skills that will help them command a higher salary, yet little or no time is spent having them to save and grow and invest their money. Why is that?
Yeah, I'm just stirred by what kids are learning in school these days, actually, compared to the lack of literacy toward money. So I agree. I feel like there's a lot more teaching us how to get into debt, borrow student loans and credit cards than there is even access to how to compound our wealth. I mean, look at where we are as a nation. How does this make you feel knowing that we have $152,000 per every baby boomer? In other words, if you're averaging the age of 65 years old right now, how does it make you feel knowing that most people at that age only have $152,000 saved? It's a big deal, right? That's a feeling. That's years of work. That's 40 years of dedication to a career, to see that you may or may not have enough to be comfortable. I don't know, survive maybe. I don't know, live. California, you guys, we all know 152,000. California, you're not retiring anytime soon. I know it's not just us that feels that way too.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And yes, definitely in California with all the inflation. So we definitely, you know, you guys, we just need to really start having these conversations about money. We got to know these things. It definitely should be taught in schools. We need to start asking questions about life. You know, these are things that we need and we deal with on a daily basis, as Rose mentioned. So How Money Works Learning Center.
Yeah, the How Money Works Learning Centers are incredible. These are some of the concepts that we teach in our classes, the foundational concepts like where we are as an economy, our country, the world with money, the rule of 72, time, value, and money, the $1 million baby, you know, how do I protect for my child, protection for my family? How do I make sure there's medical bills covered that are not just, you know, covered in traditional medical insurance? The heavy stuff, the expensive stuff, the quality of life protection. How do I save for emergencies or getting out of debt? Or how do I just increase my cash flow? Or even learning how to set for long-term goals, like actually retire and live your best life and not have to cut back or strain in retirement. These are some of the concepts that are taught at the learning centers.
Yeah. Rose, do you recognize this line right here?
I do. I recognize those shoes too. We're out dating, where we're at, the jeans, right? But it's true, right? Mom, we got money. Where are we going on a Friday, right? We go to the bank. And Dakota,
Mhm. To the
every
bank. And
every
I mean, I remember being young, wanting to go to the bank to get these little suckers.
yeah, those darn
And what
suckers.
are these suckers that they always have at the bank called?
Yeah, exactly. I think Dakota.
Dum-dums. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember in the beginning I said that sucker was there for a reason. So not only are they calling us suckers, they're calling us dum-dums. What?
Well, and it's true. I
What?
mean, look at we go to the bank. There's no rates of returns. Our money's not growing there. We get charged to have our money in there. We get charged 29% just to borrow money from them, from a credit card. And there's no real growth on our savings. I'm kind of confused. Like, what do we use the banks for? Right? Is it just for transactions, or how do the banks make money? Matter of fact, one of the things that we go into is the sucker cycle. You've probably heard about that friend that's got 20 bucks till Friday. Yeah, that one's never going to have a house. Okay. That one's never going to save for a down payment. If they're not thinking about putting a budget, sacrificing for a couple years on some of these topics, like those monthly subscriptions that you're paying for, $237 as an average for for our country's spending habits. That's pretty intense. And somehow Uber slid in there and got $83 a month of all of our pockets on ride shares in our country. So, hey, if you're feeling like a sucker already, it's not me, it's the books, it's the banks. They started it. We're just putting a spotlight on it. I swear.
Yes, definitely. These things we just need to know. We need to learn these concepts. They really need to be taught in schools. And that's what our goal and our mission is. And there is something, you guys, that Einstein created called the rule of 72. And abracadabra, we're going to show you how that works.
You actually will feel like you're doing magic because your money will grow. And how many of you would love money to grow? Yeah, without going in and working for it, without going in, clocking in, standing and doing what you do at your job, whatever the hard work you might be doing at your job. Okay, watch this. You take the number 72, you divide it by however fast your money is growing, whatever interest rate it's doing, and it'll tell you how long it's going to take for your money to double. So if you look at your averages, let's do it.
Yes, let's look at these average rates of return. So if the bank is offering a 1%, ladies and gentlemen, and you divide that by 72, it's going to take your money 72 years to double. No wonder why they're calling us suckers. Banks aren't even offering a 1%, you guys. So imagine what that looks like. 3% is going to take 24 years for your money to double. A 6% is going to take 12 years for your money to double. So what's the pattern? The higher the interest rate, the faster your money's doubling. 9%, your money's going to double every 8 years. 12%, your money's going to double every 6 years. So you want to get those high interest rates of returns, but where are we going to get those? The banks aren't teaching us. So where do you go to get those interest rates?
Well, heck, I mean, that's why you have a financial professional, but we'll get into how they discriminate in a second here. This is one of the slides that I love talking to students and schools and the youth. As you can see, we have cartoons here, right? Imagine if our country could buy homes earlier, right? And have things earlier in life. Well, take a look at this here. Let's say you had $10,000 and you were given 19, you were given $10,000 in an inheritance. At a 1% return in the bank, over time, it would double once. And at age 67, you would have $16,000 for retirement. But let's say you found a 12% average. Well, over time, it would have doubled 8 times, which would have turned your 10 grand into $2.5 million. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you, but anybody who could teach me how to turn 10 grand into $2.5 million, if they could have taught me that in high school, my life would have changed. I would have been a different kid. I would have had a different outlook on life. And how do I know that? Because I learned that at 25 and I had a different outlook on life immediately. For the first time in my life, I felt freedom, but at the same time, I felt so much anger because I felt like my mom could have learned that a long time ago. So I found a passion that I didn't even know I had, because I know that there's a lot of you out there that probably feel the same way, right? It's like you're happy to learn it, but you're also kind of disappointed we didn't learn it earlier.
Oh, I definitely was one of the ones that felt the same way. When I met Rose, I mean, my mouth was just open, like, what? What? I didn't learn any of this stuff. Where's been this information been? And what about the 1% example?
Yeah,
Let's check that out.
1% example. Well, there's $10 trillion sitting in bank accounts that are growing at the average of 0.09, which means you take your number 72 and you divide it by 0.09. And I don't know about you, but it's going to be pretty disturbing to see this answer. But go ahead, take a look at the screen. You probably see some of your banks there. US Bank, Citibank, Chase Your Money. Just kidding. Chase Bank, Bank of America, right? These banks are pretty well known, and as you can see, they're not doing much for us in the long run.
Did you guys see that there was only one bank out of that list that's offering 1%? One. How does that make you feel? So let's talk about the 0.09 percent example. So you take 72 divided by 0.09%. That means 800 years to double. What? 800 years? So in other words, $1 back in 1219 would become $2 in 2019. Huh? What? So crazy. That's a 0.09%.
Well, just as the same way as if you're looking at your credit cards, ladies and gentlemen, you go into debt in all aspects, you can do this the same. 21% is our average credit card right now in our country. Take the number 72 divided by 21 means your interest is doubling every 3.4 years. So let's say you pay something and you're paying the minimums and you pay it for 3.4 years. You've already paid what you owe, but you still have the same balance. And the same thing happens in your mortgages, right? You have to do the rule 72 to your mortgages. So you also know how fast your money is being doubled in your mortgages. But at the same time, if your money was growing, you wouldn't feel so much of this happening to our money against us if our money was growing for us.
Again, dumb. There go those suckers
Darn credit cards. I know. Every time I talk about the credit card, it's like I gotta slap the dumb because if you go in there and you get anything over 20%, you guys, we're almost asking for ourselves to be in debt that we can't control. If you're going to pay the minimums, you're going to max out, you're asking for something that's going to be uncontrollable. So let's talk a little bit about affording a home, right? A lot of times people think that they can or they can't. This is an example of a calculator that we have where you can go in and you can talk about your credit and all that. And of course, that also adds to the beautiful pile here. Credit will only help this picture. But look at here. Let's say your household is about 100,000 with your family or whoever you're going to buy the house with. Let's say you have a $20,000 down payment and you want to be in the home loan for 30 years. And let's say the interest rates are 7. It is what it is. That's where you're at right now. I can always refinance. By the way, there are cash reserve accounts out there that, I have personally for myself where my money is not growing in a bank account that's growing at 0. It's got multiple percentages in returns just by sitting it in my cash reserve. So my cash money is growing good. And so it can complement, a house loan at 7 if my bank account money is growing above, a 3, or in some cases, mine, for instance, is 4.75. That's a big deal, right? Not many people have bank accounts that are growing that return. And wouldn't that complement that 7% on that home loan? It sure would, right? But most people are not aware that they can even have access to it and how to do that. But in this case, someone could get a home for 335,000 and your monthly payment would be 2,500. Now, 2,500 a month, and you're only bringing in 100,000. That's a good 25% of your income that's going toward your mortgage. Is that something you want to do in your portfolio? That is just something that I believe people need to decide, right? This is truly what people don't do. And that's why 2008 happened, right? People got loans, they got approved. And just because they did it doesn't mean it made sense for their portfolio or their pie, right? But hey, if somebody really wants to put 25% of what they're bringing home toward their home because they want to pay it off faster, all glory to you, right? But understand what you're doing with your finances before you make these decisions. And wouldn't it be nice to have these type of calculators before you make a decision and learn these things before? So that way you not only get in your home, you pay it off earlier, you're not getting double whammied with the interest rates, and you're in control and not someone else being in control. Super powerful.
It really is powerful. I mean, definitely everybody needs that calculator. You're thinking about buying a home. And honestly, what does retirement look like? Like, when do you start saving for retirement? Like, how soon should you start saving? The longer you wait, ladies and gentlemen, the more you have to save. So this example is at what age, how much do you have to save to have $1 million by age 67? So assuming you had a 9% interest rate, ladies and gentlemen, do you know a 20-year-old only has to save $113 a month? What? How many of us at 20 years old was spending $100 on dumb stuff? I know I was. I worked at the Air Force Base and I had a good job and I was blowing my $100. No one taught me how to save.
Oh, I know you're blowing your $100 on shoes, lady. I knew you. You go to that woman's closet. It is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She's got $1 million sitting in her closet, Shanta. I'm just letting you know. Compound interest.
That's definitely one of them for sure. And then a 20-year-old. So if we go down to the 40-year-old, you see how that number jumps. So 20-year-old, $113, and then a 40-year-old, $731. And then if you wait even longer, 50 years old, it goes up to $2,000+. So don't wait. Learn how money works and save now, honestly.
Yeah, because it's not just the roof over your head. Gosh darn it. I had a leaky roof. We had my grandma Chavella's house. The roof moved with the wind. Come on now. It's not just the roof over the head. We need some nice roofs. We need some good stuff. Okay. And that's kind of my favorite topic of the financial industry is how they discriminate. Where do we get those good returns? Where do we get somebody who's actually going to show us how to do something like this? Put away future, things for ourselves. Well, let's just say you were able to qualify to talk to somebody who would let you move money, and they said the minimum you can start is 50,000 in an investment. And let's say that the bank advisor, for instance, at Chase Bank, my advisors said they had there's a certain amount of money you had to have before you could talk to their advisor, and it was 50 grand. And I was 25 years old asking these questions. Is that kind of feasible for most 25-year-olds? No, not at all, right? But let's just say you're like Sarah and you do have 50K. You put it away, and let's say you would get a 9% average, 9%. Over time, with the 9% average, $50,000 would turn into 2.8 million over time. Wow, Sarah, you did it. You are awesome. Okay, Sarah, TJ doesn't have 50K. Matter of fact, him and his wife work hard. They are hard workers. They work all day, every day. They have multiple jobs. They work in California. You know how it goes. We got a bunch of kids, make it happen. And guess what? All I can do is I can put away a few $100. Can you help me? Right? Most of the industry, if you're not attached to a job, they're not helping people with small contracts. I've seen some really bad discrimination out there. Let's say TJ does get access to somebody who will help. And trust me, there are people who will. Over time, $500 at a 9% would turn into $3.7 million over time. Wow, how cool is that? TJ could have almost $1 million more because someone did not discriminate him and gave him a chance to learn this stuff early, right? And that's the difference. Give people a shot to learn this. And I promise you, instead of TJ and his wife going to the casino every other month, they will be putting their money away so they can make sure they're casino for the rest of their life.
That's awesome. I mean, I like that. I don't know about you guys, but that sounds very, very nice to me. But in addition to how much money you want to save, you got to know how your money's being taxed, ladies and gentlemen. So we always ask the question, would you rather be taxed on the seed or would you rather be taxed on the harvest? The seed, paying taxes on the initial $10,000, right, means only the principal will be taxed, not your earnings, and you'll pay today's tax rate. The harvest, paying taxes on a $250,000 means all earnings will be taxed, and you'll pay the future tax rate, which could be higher. So think about that. Would you rather be paid on the seed or the harvest, right? And 3 ways that your money's being taxed. You have your tax now bracket. So that means your money is taxable. Taxes are paid on interest, earnings, and dividends every single year. Tax later means tax deferred bracket, where your money is going to be taxes are paid when you start taking distributions in retirement. Anybody heard of a 401k pension? Right? Never and then tax never, which we like to call tax-free. Taxes are not owed on earnings and distributions. Tax. So which would you rather be? Tax now, tax later, or tax-free?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, look, have it all, ladies and gentlemen, have it all. Your real estate is in those capital gains, and it's still very, very important to have and understand just what happens when I make money in these accounts. How are things taxed? And look, if you're going to get there to this nest egg, just understand what we're thinking of Social Security and what it was before is not what it's headed to. We are here on a mission to make sure people understand to not rely on this three-legged stool. It is no longer a three-legged stool. It's almost like a plane that it's not coming up with the rest of it, right? It's going to fall in flight. So if you know anybody out there that feels like they're not on track, let them know that they're not alone and there is resources out there. But learning about this and bringing an awareness to our country is the first step.
Absolutely. And honestly, there's 3 major things that we really don't think about, you guys. 3 realities that we face that make leaving $1 million inheritance unlikely for so many parents. The longevity, how long are we going to be here? Living longer means parents need to need their savings to fund a lengthy retirement. Then medical bills. That's just one thing that we kind of don't prepare for. If something happens to us, or just in case something happens, do we have any money set aside to take care of those expenses? Medical bills, the average retiree will spend $122,000 on medical care from the age of 70 to the end of their life. We need to prepare for that. In long-term care, that is another thing we don't really have set aside and prepared for. 70% of people who are 65 and older in age will need some type of long-term care services and support, which can cost anywhere from $70,000, you guys, to over $390,000 based on the average 3.9-year long-term care need. And I'm sure many of us had parents and grandparents that had fell ill that we had to take care of, or we needed, some assistance with taking care of. So those realities we really, really want to take serious.
Yeah, especially, I have a lot of people in real estate right now, and they're selling their homes to pay for medical bills. So just as much as you want to use those homes for income and extra money and extra flow, it's proven right now that they're using it on medical costs. Okay. So Let's pay attention to this stuff, and let's enjoy our homes and enjoy the things that we are creating and not have to turn around and use them for liquidation. And last but not least, your plan is not yours. Your money's not yours. If you don't have it in an estate plan, get it organized. It doesn't matter if you have a little or a lot. You're still not Jenny from the block. No, I'm just kidding. And look, seriously, get your will trust in place. I am not an attorney. I cannot recommend legal advice, but I have a trust, and I am so thankful that I have these things in place. You know, to be able to know that if something happens to me, I can sleep at night knowing, you know, my family's assets are going to be taken care of. There's money in place for my nieces and nephews that are going to be generational. Something that was never done for me is finally done for my family. I can generate the first legacy ever in my family because somebody taught me how to do this. But it's not just us normal folk. It's wills are and trusts are so important for every estate. Prince, Aretha Franklin, Chadwick Boseman. I mean, these individuals did not have a trust, and I mean their estate is going through so much in probate that I would not wish that on anybody. So just know that if you don't have a plan for your estate, the government will have one for you. And this is a big topic just in itself. We go a whole hour just on this topic. Matter of fact, we do have a class tonight for guests just on this topic because it is so important to a financial plan, and especially to you owning a home. Such a big deal.
Absolutely. There's honestly, this is a huge, like Rose said, there's so much education around this and just so much we really, really need to know. You know, for documents, your estate plan should include, ladies and gentlemen, if you get nothing else, definitely take a screenshot, take note of this. A will, you know, most of us kind of heard of a will. It identifies the guardian of your minor and special needs children who can carry out your wishes and how your property will be distributed. A financial power of attorney. It identifies who will control your affairs, like managing bills, insurance, taxes, selling property if you're not able to do so yourself. An advanced healthcare directive or living will. The person you want to make your healthcare decisions. If you cannot, then the state takes control of that and make those decisions for you about the treatments and things like that that you didn't, you know, because you didn't have that in place. And then also Health Insurance Properability and Accountability Act. So that means HIPAA. Anybody ever heard of that acronym? HIPAA. That's what it actually means. It's spelled out right there. Release. You definitely want to have a HIPAA form. Definitely want to have a HIPAA form. It permits your healthcare agent to access your medical records and insurance. So those are the 4 documents you definitely want to have in place for your estate plan. Thank you.
All right, everybody, we have given you a lot of information. It's like a fire hose. It's like, oh yeah, man, I want a house. I want all this stuff, but I got to think about life. What do you mean I got to think about my life, Rose? Yes, because you are a human inside of that house, for God's sakes. And guess who cares about that? Chandra does, because she's not just somebody who's helping people get in their homes. She wants to make sure you stay in the homes, and she wants to be invited for, you know, those big potlucks and those dinners and those, I mean, I don't know about you, but that's why I became a financial pro, so I could go and, you know, be invited to all those potlucks and Thanksgivings and dinners. And, you know, if you grow, I grow, right? No, I'm just kidding. But it's true. There's a big problem. People are not making it financially. It is tough out there. You know, I find it hard for me to stop teaching this ever in my life, because I can't possibly fathom this discrimination to continue. And it's happening over and over and over again about these topics. So if you're fired up about learning this stuff, please take some action. And we'll tell you a little bit of Chandra and Dakota and what we're up to with all this information as we close out here.
Absolutely. So I definitely, like Rose said, hope you guys got a lot of value out of this. and took some notes, took some screenshots. But we want to, we know for sure when people really learn how money works, they rethink their finances in their career. This is just very, very critical for us to really learn, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, right now, 1 out of 2 people are looking for a side gig. They're hustling, right? Their side gigs are averaging $1,000 a month. So we know 1 out of 2 of you that pop on are interested in some way, shape, or form in learning how to have extra income that you can choose your schedule, have flexibility, and have some sense of control. Right now, it's proven the people who have the most opportunity to charge their cash flow, to recharge it, are people that own their own business. People that own it, like the owner of the hospital, the owner of the restaurants, the owner of the organizations, those are the ones that are making the most. It's not necessarily the employees or even the glorified positions that we give sometimes that pay the most. So I just want to recognize out there, like, entrepreneurship should also be taught in school too, right? So we are all about that. We're always teaching people how to, create their business structures and supercharge their income, right? And a lot of times people don't even realize that if they adjust their W-2s and their taxes, they could be bringing in a lot more money, right? Even having a side gig, a lot of people don't know how to adjust their W-2s so they bring in more money with their tax write-offs, right? I am fascinated by when I became a business owner, how much of an opportunity I had to learn how to take home more for my family, my business, my growth, my personal development than I did have to spend on taxes. Right. And I could give back and I can make a difference, and I could move my taxes in a way where I had a choice with that money. And it's powerful, but nobody's teaching us in school. Matter of fact, they make it spooky and ooey and sticky to even talk about this stuff.
Spooky, ooey, and sticky. Kind of like how people are going to kind of get for Halloween coming up, huh? Mm-hmm. That is awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, I know we hear a lot about real estate and, everyone wanting to go in real estate and, get my real estate license. Definitely real estate is amazing. Definitely an awesome industry. So you kind of hear real estate or a restaurant, but do you know, ladies and gentlemen, that the financial industry is actually one of the biggest industries? As you see here, $158 trillion industry, you guys. So it trumps the rest of the industry.
Yeah,
so
and it's almost the biggest monster out there that nobody's been able to tackle, right? We have 500,000 real estate agents just in California alone, and the entire US, we only have 250,000 fully licensed financial professionals. So the lack of support that we have with those trillions of dollars is devastating. So when we say we need learning centers all over the US, when we say we're looking for part-timers, we're looking for full-timers, we're looking for some-timers, right? There are people that need access to this information, and there's the proof right there. There's $158 trillion sitting in bank accounts, sitting in Fidelity accounts, sitting in Transamerica accounts, sitting in all of these financial institutions. Some of them are not doing very well. But it also makes you think, what are they doing with this money? Do they want to lose it, or do they want to save it? Do they want to protect it? Do they want to secure it? Do they want to make sure all of these things are covered, right? And heck, I bet you we'd be a lot better in real estate too, right? Having those principles as well. And look, our company has found a way to keep up with the times. If you're in the 21st century, you have a distribution and a production company. You have a company that produces and distributes simultaneously. So just as much as our economic flow for financial services is there's this huge dramatic need, we haven't found a way to get it to the hands of America, right? The rule of 72 has not got to everybody. Okay, it's taking way too slow. So Uber found a way to transform the taxi industry by putting a device on their phone that says you can enroll with us and you can start making money from Uber just by filling out something on your phone, right? Airbnb has done the same thing where you could download an app, and now you can distribute your house, make money from an app on your phone, have a 1099 filled out with no interview, make a distribution, not have to fill out any rental paperwork or tax forms because Airbnb does it for you. They have completely changed the game, but they're not promoting the houses that they're doing. They're promoting that you can put your house on Airbnb. Airbnb is not promoting all the fancy cars that they can pick you up in. They're promoting the fact that you can make money with Uber because times are tough. 6 out of 10 people need more income. Netflix is doing it too. How many people say I have a movie on Netflix right now? It's crazy. It is a distribution for Netflix. It's a distribution for TV, for television, actors. Like they had to change everything so that they can actually get on Netflix. It's crazy. And the same thing we're doing here.
Absolutely. Yes, I just had that conversation. Someone was like, oh, The Equalizer 3 is in the movie theaters. I was like, really? It's on Netflix, though. I'm like, who's gonna go to the movie theater? So, just like Rose said with Uber, Airbnb, and Netflix, honestly, How Money Works, and that's our goal and mission, is to open up as many How Money Work learning centers. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the largest education company that owns no classrooms. So we're revolutionizing the way that we teach financial education. And that's the way that, direction we're going in today.
Yeah. Here's just an example of some of our other classes as we move on. I have a feeling Chandra and I and all of us here on this call are going to do some other topics. This is a topic for people who own businesses. So if you have an employer that does not have packages for their employees, we have a whole seminar that we can do for any job, any career, and any position for people to teach their employees.
Yes. We even have it in Spanish. How Money Works in Spanish, you guys. We want to cater to all the communities.
Yeah. Future of Black American financial literacy. I mean, I don't know about you, but we all need to be learning some things, and everybody needs to see some of these things all together. It is an economic change. It's going to take all of us to make change, not just one.
Absolutely. And this is a big topic that no one really talks about: domestic violence and financial abuse. That's a real thing, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what we cover as well.
Yeah. No Women Left Behind, proven that 80% of women die single, 80% of men die married. Ladies, we have a different financial plan. Stay tuned. That class is incredible.
Oh man, who runs the world? No, I'm just kidding. $1 million baby.
Babies run the
baby.
world. No, I'm just kidding.
Absolutely. $1 million baby. How to really start saving for your child when they come out the womb. Honestly. Yeah.
Our mission is to teach 20 million families how to learn how money works in the next decade. And maybe this is why you're on this call. Maybe this is why you're on this Zoom. This may be why Facebook led you to us. You have a calling, you're learning, you want to learn, you want to share. You not only want to learn how to get your first house, you want to learn how to leverage it for income, you want to learn how to save tax-free, you want to learn all these things. And we hope that we've piqued your interest. We've hoped that you get your study on. I know we're going to pass it back over to Miss Lake, and she's going to give you some direction. I hope you take some direction, right? Because look, you can come, you clap on, you can give us a like, you can share with your friend, but none of that matters if you're not taken care of. So I hope that we've motivated you all to take some action today. So back over to you, Absolutely. Captain. We appreciate you, and thank you so much.
Oh, wow, wow. Let me unmute myself. I am so amazed at the information that was shared. And I hope that if you tuned in today, that you were amazed. Thank you, Rose. Thank you, Dakota, so much. Listen, if you didn't take notes, this was recorded live. You can go back, rewind, and get more information, take some notes. But most importantly, you will see a link in the comment section where you're able to just fill out that form for more information. You can meet with one of our financial professionals, Rose or Dakota. You can meet with myself as a realtor or mortgage loan officer, but the information we want you to take action on. I'm excited because I just feel like education is something that no one can take from you. Once you're educated and your mind is illuminated, no one, I don't care what kind of box they try to put you in or who tries to put you in a cage or whatever, when you have that information, you are going to be able to use that information to change your life, the life of your family, the life of your children. I'm excited for what was shared tonight. And so if I had some hands, I would just clap them all for Rose and Dakota for the information that was shared. And I'm thankful because this is live and it's not just contained in a box, but you can share it with someone that you know. I've already took a snapshot of the domestic violence. I have someone in mind that I want to do that presentation with. If you saw something that piqued your interest, please, please, please complete that form in the comments section. We want to hear from you. And most importantly, we want to get this book in your hands. You've got to get this book. It has so much valuable information in it. And so I'm going to close this out. But before I close this out, I want to put it back into the hands of Rose to end it because she is an amazing broker and just Dakota. And I mean, I just learned so much from both of them. So I want to put it in her hands. So as the leader and the broker of this organization, I want her to close this out. Thank you, Rose.
Oh, you're so silly. I hope you had some fun. And for people that might have just tuned in, it's going to be on repeat, I heard. So you'll be able to listen and take some notes. And we know that this isn't going to be the last one. We hope to hear feedback. And so if you do happen to share and you do happen to fill out the form and let us know what you think about the book. I think the book is a huge breakthrough for people to really understand where they're at for their short-term goals, their midterm goals, their long-term goals. And it's simple enough to give it to your teens, right? Read it to the kids and then take it to your grandma that's retiring and doesn't know what to do, right? There's so many different people that can really absorb this information. So thank you all for being on tonight. Have a wonderful night. God bless. Take action. Click on your link. And Dakota, you know what to do, girl. You know what to do. Put on that music, DJ. Thank you. Bye, everybody. Take care. See you soon.